Hello everyone, I'm ImKibitz and welcome back to Satisfactory, where we have been working on this nuclear power plant, setting up an emergency nuclear waste processing facility. And it is complete! So if we have excess plutonium or uranium waste, we can process that down and get rid of it. Which means we can work towards our real goal of properly automating Fixonium fuel rods. The final step in our nuclear power plant that will allow us to burn plutonium waste and utilize the plant to its maximum capacity. But where did we leave off here? Well, let's find out by taking a look at our diorama world, where we have been laying out kind of the template for the entire plant, where each machine represents an entirely different processing line. And for the uranium fuel rods, we're good. Plutonium fuel rods, we're good. This emergency plant, all is good. Backup supplies are done, reactors are in, loops are built. Kibs, you did it, buddy. It's time to start on the final production chain. So at the end of the day here, we make these Fixonium fuel rods, which do not make any nuclear waste. We just have to follow this setup in order to make them. And where does it all start? Ooh, with our precious purple lunch boxes. Reanimated SAM. That's right, we're gonna take about half of the world's SAM supply, reanimate it, use converters, and make it into Ficsite Trigons, and then some Dark Matter Residue to boot. And the converters are going to use Caterium ingots with the reanimated SAM to make the Ficsite. All right, seems simple enough, Kib says to himself, knowing that all of my projects are never as simple as it seems. But at least with this project, it's our first big step towards Fixonium. And wait! I have this big control building here, and we have our main portal room front and center. So whenever I leave, I get to see the plant. But inside, ever since this building was made, I plan to build converters here. Ooh, and we can put them in place. Oh, that's gonna be so cool. But that's more so a problem for future Kibs. Right now, we need to set up the big stuff. All of the constructors and converters we need for the project. And we're gonna be using this little corner over here to do so. And looking at my numbers, we are going to have to also use our Somersloops at this point. It's time. There's nothing more important than SAM optimization in this world. So we're gonna have to overclock all these machines, and we're gonna have to use all of the Somersloops. I think, maybe, probably. But we'll get to that in a minute. First, we build the factory. And since we have so much built up around here, we gotta stay with a relatively simple design for now. And we'll pretty it up in the future once we get our quantum encoders, particle accelerators, and all that jazz involved. But for constructors, yeah, we're hiding those in a box pretty much. According to my math, we need about 28 reanimated SAM constructors. So I got these blueprints for 10 here. So that's 30, 40. So this set, that set, and this other set will be for reanimating the SAM. And then we need this extra set of 10 plus 4 for the Trigons. So I don't know, we'll throw the extra 4 over here. Of course we'll make this look all pretty. I'm just trying to get a gist for the design. Some more Trigons, this, overclock out the wazoo. Good, basic plan in place. Let's go get our material. And good news, past Kibs brought everything to the location, I think like last year. So it's sitting somewhere on a belt, somewhere around these parts. I think we're bringing it in via a train. Yes, we are. So we got 600 there, 600 here. It seems it's already going somewhere. Uh-oh, past Kibs, what did you do in 2025? You brought it over this way, up this way, and did nothing. All right. I guess at some point I was gonna bring the belts this way until, you know, things got busied up. No, that's okay. We can bring them in a different direction. We can bring all the material over this way, around all these train stations, and follow this SAM line that we brought over here, hit the ground at some point, and then we should be good to go. And although this does look super busy, I have belt highways all over the place, and we can just always stack on more, right? Or since this is the last phase of the project, we could just build on the ground here. Look at that free logistics lane. Ooh, that's tempting. Very tempting. But I almost forgot. We're actually using some of the SAM right now. Not like a permanent process, but just for our emergency depot. the scram. So in case there's a meltdown, we have these types of materials to process excess plutonium waste. And you know what? I'm sure that process kind of play itself out. Let's put some loops in here. Loops there, loops everywhere. And then are we okay on power? We're all right. I shut off half the nuclear power plant while we're building up resources in the emergency depot. But we still got like 300,000 megawatts kicking around, so we can loop things no problem. One constructor though, 54 megawatts, a little unhinged. Actually, where is the converter at? So we're gonna be setting up a lot of these, and each of them is taking up 5,000 megawatts for one machine? And we have to set up a bunch of these guys. Oh man, it's gonna be rough. Anyway, we still have to find our Caterium. Here we are. And we have to bring that over to the project site as well. We got 900 here, and then we got another 900 here. That Caterium is just being brought over from the other biome in this Caterium processing plant. Okay, then this is all chill. Sorry, I'm just gonna be running through a lot of our old projects here. I need to catch myself up. It's been a while. Also, it looks like we still need to build up the stockpiles at the emergency depot, so let's just do the Beltwork first. At some point, we'll just, ooh, this wall looks perfect. We'll bring the items through this little area here, bring them down this way, and then, you know what? It's time to cash in some chips. We are gonna build the belts just on the ground here. Bring them over this way, and then off we'll scoot them to the other side of the factory. Taking a peek ahead, please be logistics lane free. Oh, thank goodness there is one. Okay, at this point here, we can switch to using a blueprint. Just threw one together real nice and quick to make my life a little bit easier. So we'll scoot that here. Blueprint auto connect, my beloved. Connect. Oh, I love you. And then go to precisely right here. Because from there, scoot over this way. Still another lane free. Oh, past Kibs. Bravo, buddy. Thank you for leaving me this space. Helps out so much. Okay, so that'll go out to here. I'll move these belts somewhere else. Doesn't look like they matter too much. Still have more room over here, over there. And then we're in the corner of the base where we have our new factory being set up. GGEZ, Beltwork is done. Everything is ready and waiting, kind of. I'll hook up the Caterium and the SAM belts to this later. Again, just letting the other items build up in our emergency building. So it's gonna be about 4,200 SAM per minute on this site and 1,800 Caterium. And then really quick, I just had to go around this area here and collect up the local SAM nodes. So we just had one SAM node just on the hill over here. And of course, the other one was on the other side of the entire biome, right over there. And factory-wise, I did a little tiny bit of detailing over here just to get a better concept, where I modified the blueprint that I was using so it was painted black. And most of the items would end up going in this direction, because I'm thinking we'll do the constructor stuff down on the first floor, and then we'll go up a floor to deal with the converter stuff. One thing I've realized though, is that we're not making snow. No. We gotta get the rest of our sloops. We don't have enough for the project today. So it's time to collect our dues. Are you ready for an adventure? Yippee! Adventure time through ImKibitz world, stealing all of his stuff. Let's go! There are 106 Somersloops in the world, and 103 of them are available. You have to use some of the loops in the MAM here in order to unlock different alien technology stuff. So yeah, we got 103, should be enough for our project. And in a perfect world, we don't need to get rid of this alien power augmenter. But we should be okay. We have a lot available downstairs in our factory of factories. Down here is where I produce all the stuff for my dimensional depot. And for a lot of the machines down here, I remember putting in Somersloops to help with my production stuff. And I think past Kibs was wise. I actually painted the Somersloop machines gold. So I would remember. Past Kibs, thank you. Why did I sloop a SAM fluctuator? Don't know why, but thanks. But I think for the most part, I used most of the sloops over this way. in our more advanced section, like making fused modular frames for our inventory in the Mark III miners. Or what's this? Supercomputers? Give me those. Still thinking we're a little short here. 39? What about outside? We're making our ionized fuel. Do we got any here? No? Okay, not panicking yet. Because I know that in some of our quantum encoders, we don't have any either. What about diamond production? Okay. Seems we got a bit of a problem here. Oh, the problem with the 1,000-hour world is there's a lot that's been done in the last 1,000 hours. ImKibitz is a notoriously goofy guy. But at the Turboplex, we are automating power shards. There's no way I'm not doubling power shard production. That would be goofy. So utterly goofy, that's impossible. What? Did at some point Kibitz realize that I had enough power shards? Was 100,000 enough? Ridiculous. Okay, now we're in the danger zone. Oh no. In fact, my little fish tank control building. I'm sorry. This hurts. They're all so flush. It's all so fantastic. Look at this, you can walk just across the machines. It's so nice. Well, this is 30 Somersloops. We got to have them. 69, nice. But we still need more. Ooh, but back in the main base. I remembered another thing. Let's go downstairs to our power slug duping area. Nice flying there, Kibitz. Thank you, Kibitz. Yes, if you didn't know, if you have power slugs and you're turning them into power shards, you always want to use a constructor here because you can use a Somersloop to double the amount of power shards you get. Where are my loops? And also, we just got rid of 3 alien power augmenters, sending us down to like 400,000 megawatts. Still fine. Oh, wait, what? What is this? Portal? Why is the portal offline? I don't know why they're turning on and off. Wait, yes I do. Oh, we turned off the Starforge for all of our tests. And we're running out of singularity cells because we don't have nuclear pasta. Ugh. All right, quick detour. Off to the Starforge. Hello, Starforge, what's going on? Need some more pasta, please. That won't blow the power grid, right? Nah. Wait, oh my gosh, I remembered. All the beltwork and pipework has melted my brain. I couldn't even remember what I did earlier today. That is put Somersloops in some of these machines. Oh goodness. See, there's lots of time that goes on between these clips here. No bully. Okay. Phew. Nightmare avoided. Loops are in place. We are good to make the precious purple lunchboxes. Let's go! Except I was doing some of this stuff on a Twitch live stream, right? And chat was like, Kibitz, why are you using the Somersloops here when you're making the Trigons? And I was like, whatever do you mean? Why don't we just use them in both or whatnot? And then they're like, but math, Kibitz. I'm like, oh, math. I almost did something real bad. You see, this is Satisfactory Modeler, free program on Steam. It's just an easy way to lay out how you're gonna go about doing things. And how I was gonna go about doing things, I was gonna get my SAM, I was gonna put that in constructors, using both the Somersloops and power shards, just to double up on the reanimated SAM. Then go through the rest of the process like normal. You get 600 SAM, about 400 Caterium, and you end up with 300 Trigons. Easy peasy. But then, chat told me to do this. Instead of putting the Somersloops at the reanimated SAM stage, instead of putting the Somersloops at the Trigon stage, you save on 200 Caterium. And I was like, oh, I did not even look into the Caterium amount in my calculations. So it's just an overall just better way to go about things. And if worse comes to worse, we might also put some Somersloops inside these machines, but I don't know if I have enough Somersloops for this playthrough, so we're not gonna do that. No, we still gotta worry about Dark Matter Residue as well. Gotta make a bunch more purple lunchboxes, more converters later on. The math on that's a lot more straightforward. Either put the Somersloops in the constructors or in the converters, and the constructors wins out. So yeah, change up my spreadsheet design a little bit, and at the end of the day, I'm actually gonna have about 900 free Caterium ingots to use for something, which I guess is great, because having extra Caterium in a ImKibitz nuclear power plant is never a problem, right? Absolutely has never been. Right. Oh yeah, I looked into putting some Somersloops in like the Fixonium fuel rod stage and all this other stuff. TLDR, doesn't matter. Here's a diagram of that whole situation if you care. But I am moving on. And besides the big loop hunt there, I also routed all of the power. So in this nuclear power plant, I actually have a main power line. It's just this weird looking box here, where I organize all the cables so they're controlled inside the main control building. The green line here, or this painted beam, is for controlling all of the uranium fuel rod stuff. The yellow one is for all the Fixonium stuff, and then I have a white beam somewhere. That's kind of like the world grid. Anyway, we have all of our stuff here. This will make all of the lunchboxes. And from there, we need to convert them into Ficsite, which can only be done in a converter. And there's a few ways to go about this. You can either use aluminum ingots, iron ingots, or Caterium ingots. And as you guys are aware, I have decided to use Caterium ingots because the ratio for SAM to Ficsite is pretty good. And in my world, where I'm maximizing the use of aluminum and SAM, this recipe was just too expensive. And iron is just not good. So Caterium, it is. And because I love the converter, it is my favorite machine in the game, I gots to have these outside. And so, we're gonna have this building here. It's pretty plain. We'll do some belt work on this shelf. And then next to it, just down the line here, we're gonna start setting up some converters. We're gonna go up with some blocks here. We're going to paint them abyssal black. And then we're going to have them all sitting pretty right up front here. So when I do my big overview that I usually do at the beginning of my videos, I can see all my converters doing their craziness. And aesthetic design wise, it's gonna be pretty straightforward. We're gonna have the beltwork stuff and all of the splitters and mergers down here, and we'll build the converters on a little shelf above. And because of the new math on my Satisfactory modeler thingy, we need 7 of these. Also, I am starting to realize why past Kibs used a Somersloop for SAM fluctuators. I don't actually have a lot of those, but we have enough for this part of the project. Let's switch the recipes. Caterium, overclock, out the wazoo, and then do a little bit of belt working, bring the finished goods down here, and then just a basic overflow running from the other end here. And man, sometimes simple designs is all you need. Look at all that. Got some purple lights, got our converters, and whew, that is so cool. Everything goes through this foundation here. Got a little tunnel for our logistic stuffs. And then we are good to go. Just need to load in all of the items via these belts down here. It's fine. Still haven't actually brought over the items just yet though, but I will in a second, a little bit, maybe, kind of, maybe. They'll go to here, go through all these machines, go that way. Oh, I love them. But then all of the materials go back into this building once again to become Trigons. Designs mixed up a little bit though, because I actually moved a lot of the constructors, i.e. 4 of them, to instead of making the lunchboxes, they're gonna make the Trigons. Because I was planning to make Dark Matter Residue in this area as well. But still in our control building, I want to have some converters here, and if we're gonna build some converters here, I may as well just process the lunchboxes on site too. But we'll get to that in a minute. This is all ready to go. We have the reanimated SAM constructors, we got the Trigons over there. Trigons end up in bins, we have our converters, we got some light deco. We are good to go. Yes, it is time to set up the belts. A to B. Guess I'll start with some lunchboxes then. Look at it go. I just gotta finish up the rest of these belts to get the Caterium and whatnot. And after locating all of the SAM and getting it organized, and then getting rid of all that temporary stuff, the belt work wasn't too bad. Just brought the goods from the trains, over through that wall I was talking about earlier. Things skewed on through underneath all of the pipes, and that project is ready to go. And good news, we actually have 2 extra belts on the belt highway, so I don't know what I'll use those for yet, but hey, Extra capacity, usually a good thing. Let's get all this SAM connected from A to B to C to D, whatnot. All of that stuff is being loaded in, right? Where's my lunch boxes? Send them in. Thank you. Oh, they're so cool, dude. Oh, I love them so much. But everything should be running, yes? Why are things not going up here? They are literally belted in to the system. Did I just forget a belt? Or demons. Oh, I knew this would be happening around the world at some point. My world save is very large and evil starting to take hold. I will find and fix all the problems. I will exorcise the demons. Is that the right word? I don't know. And anyway, I will fix it all and make all the Ficsite. I love this. But I might just make this a blueprint and copy and paste it everywhere because it's just great. Let's take a look back inside where we should be getting some Trigons at this point, yes? Oh, yes, I saw them. Everything moves so fast on the Mark 6 belts. But yes, they're all going to the end of the line here. Wait, are we good? 150 per minute. Per machine. How many machines are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10? That's 1,500 Trigons we're making per minute. That's a lot of Trigons. Too many for a Mark 6 belt. What a world. I'm gonna have to cut the last 2 off. Talk about good problems, eh? Suffering from success. Just bring this forward though. Uppies, and send her on in, and combine the rest of these bins together. Ooh, and I had a great idea. After everything goes into these bins, this smart splitter will direct stuff to the Fixonium production and to the scram, because we're gonna need Trigons in the emergency plant too. How that's gonna be set up is one of these belts is going to be for any, and that any belt is gonna prioritize sending material to the emergency plant. And once that stockpile is full, the overflow will go to our normal processing. Ooh, that also means once we go through the wall, go back up to this logistics lane, and then we had just a giant belt highway with 2 free belts. Well, guess what, buddy? One of them is gonna turn itself around and bring our Trigons to the emergency facility. Yeah, it took a minute to turn that belt around, but honestly, at this point of the project, routing things to this plant takes a lot more time than automating them. And speaking of routing things, the next part of the project is gonna be very, very, very difficult. We gotta build 5 more converters inside our control building. Now the process is simple. We're just taking lunch boxes and making dark matter residue. But as it said, some things are simple, but not easy. Gotta find the space for all this stuff. However, I have left a secret in here that can solve all of our problems. And that is, we have this huge kind of open space that goes towards one of our main emergency battery banks over here. And in this open space, we can throw a bunch of fluid buffers, or I guess gas buffers, for excess dark matter residue. Gosh, we got a lot of space. Yeah, this will be great. Or at the very least, deal with some of the pipe work. And secret number 2. The only way I can keep this place organized, and a lot of these like complicated factories organized, is by having logistics floors. I do them, okay, I do. But since they're regularly not seen, they're hideous, okay? They are a functional bit of space that exists. However, it is probably one of the only ways we can get a belt from one side of our control building to the other. I literally have no idea where else we could go. It's just everything is, it's a mess, okay? It's a mess. Just gotta hope that on the other side of this wall, it's not complete and utter chaos. That's not the worst. We can make this work. We'll mix in the belts, maybe with these uranium lines, or we could just go straight down that way. Oh, this is where we're working earlier. Oh my gosh. This is where all the SAM and Deuterium will go. Wow, okay. This is good. We bring the SAM belt this way. We go into like this little room, and this little room, if the universe says this is the play, we're gonna be able to fit 4 constructors in here. We just need 4 constructors. It's so simple. Behave. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's real good. That's really, really, really good. Precious purple lunchboxes on lock. Awesome. What's through this wall? Please be a hallway, dude. That'd be so cool. Then we could have a door here. Yes! I love it when things work out like this. I love it. I love it. Okay, that'll make all the lunchboxes. Now we just need to make all of the converters. We need 5 of them. So 1, 2, 3. Can't really fit the 4th one in there. We need a walking path down the staircase to the hallways, right? So we can get 3 there. And then we can only get a 4th here. We need 5. We need 5. No! My dreams! No. We have options at least. We have this wall that goes to this big space here. Maybe there's room downstairs? What's behind? Oh, a door. What's behind the door? Batteries. Wait, what? I have a second emergency battery bank in here? I didn't even know this. And some extra batteries that aren't even connected? Well. Achoo. We now have our space for the 5th converter. You know what? What's right above here? What's right above? Oh, is that right? Right above here are the other converters for the Dark Matter Residue. It's perfect. It's perfect. It's almost as if past Gibbs planned this, but unironically just kind of getting lucky here. But no, we can have all of the lunchboxes, scoot through the wall, overflow through all of these converters, and then at some point, I don't know, maybe like here, we have one more splitter that goes down into a void space here. And then that belt can overflow to a final converter right over here. That's too big. Can we dig? Avert your eyes, you might see nature. Ugh, gross, organics. Okay, but at least that gives us a digging space. So we can put a converter now in here. It fits perfectly, and we are cooking with gas. I thought this would be a whole thing, but I don't think so. Machine fits in wonderfully. And since we had all this room, well, then I could just bring the rest of the Dark Matter Residue through as well. And all of it gets gathered up and brought right to here. Then we go through the wall into this void spacey area where I have all of the gas bouffars just sitting pretty beneath the staircase there, making everything look busy. And the pipes, they scoot on up, scoot on over, go through the wall in a very unique way. And then once the pipes go outside, I didn't think there was any possible way we could bring Dark Matter Residue through all of this nonsense. Like, it is so busy out here. But Mr. Kibbs is a genius. We go up the wall, down the wall, so we can have those indicators there. And then there just so happened to be this bit of decoration under this yellow sign zone. And we have all of the Dark Matter Residue floating underneath here. Goes that way, does a little turnaround in the building, and then down this wall. Beltwork wise, like we're, oh my leg. Brought the SAM up through the beltwork, and then just like we did with the Trigons, precious purple lunchboxes go through that same kind of overflow method, back down and over to that emergency build over there. And speaking of those precious purple lunchboxes, look at this beautiful new corridor out to a new room, and looky here. Our wonderful constructors all sitting pretty, all fit, and all the material then go through a smart splitter just right here to distribute everything into our portal room, which is now finally, after a year, actually complete. It literally was like January last year where I had planned out having converters in these spots. And now they're finally in place. And what's even better, back in our diorama world, we can go to the beginning of our Fixonium setup here and check things off the list. Our beltwork for the SAM and Caterium is done. We have all the purple lunchboxes. Ficsite automated Trigons complete. meaning we are done the first leg of the journey. I guess next time, I think we're gonna be making diamonds. Or maybe not just some diamonds, but since we have that dark matter residue, we might be making some dark matter crystals. But we will see. Again, however, that is gonna be all for now. So if you enjoyed, remember to leave a like and subscribe for more. And until then, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and bye-bye. And also, we're definitely not at risk of any kind of power problems. Everything's fine. Always has been, always will be. Okay, bye.